So some of the muscles in the back start to release as you're laying here. See if you can allow the breath to deepen just a little bit. Huge inhales. Good, relaxed exhale. Breath flowing in. Breath flowing out. So the idea today, a simple word, release. Our hope is to work through some of the areas where we have a lot of tension. Those common ones like shoulders, neck, low back, hips, places like that. We'll make sure to include lots of stretches to get into those areas. And when you feel muscles stretching in a way that feels helpful to your tension, anytime you notice that sensation at all, I invite you to return back to the slow, steady breath. Huge inhales. Huge exhales. And let's even add counts to our breath for a moment. So take your next couple of breaths to just notice as your natural inhale, maybe 4 counts, maybe more or less. Notice your natural exhale, about how many is it? And then try to purposely add 1 or 2 bonus counts. Try to make inhales and exhales equal in count, but add 1 or 2 more. So if you were at 4 counts, maybe do 5 or 6 counts. So extra long, extra slow. Good. So from here, we'll start off our first stretches. The first thing we'll do is let the arms go all the way pointed to the back wall. It's like a good morning stretch. Feel how this allows the abdomen to be pulled really long. Allows the shoulders to start stretching a little bit. So from here, let's take a good banana stretch. So right ankle, let's cross it over left. Let's scoot the legs a little bit off the left side of the mat. So both hips are down, but they're just leaning all the way over to the left. And up above our head, grab the right wrist and scoot your shoulders just a couple of inches to left. Again, both shoulders are down, they're not lifting. But it is a huge lateral stretch, everything like a banana to left. Notice how the stretch is working for you. If you're not really feeling anything, be a little bit more active, pushing against ankle and wrist connection. But if you're feeling it, don't feel like you have to do anything. Passive is also a really good opener here for many, many people. Good. So take another huge inhale. Huge exhale. And then start to release. Feel like a big figure X on the ground. Just feel your body in this mini shavasana for a moment. Allowing another huge breath, that 5, 6, maybe 7 counts to come in. And out really slowly. Good. Let's start to take the banana over to right. So left ankle crosses over right ankle. Legs scoot to the right. Grab left wrist, then up above head, scoot the shoulders to the right. Until you've got the ribs, shoulder, all of those good areas stretching for us, working with us. Another good breath, flowing in, out, flat back open like that big figure X. Let's take another huge inhale. Exhale. Circle everything to join all the way to the center. Even the forehead curls into this little ball. 3 times, let's stretch the arms toward the back wall, legs stretch out away from the arms. And curl right back in, tight little ball. 2 more, stretch out. Circle in. 1. Good. So from here, take a fetal position to left. So everything tilts over to left. Let the head settle down. Let both arms be straight out in front of you, hands on top of one another. And then from here, this top hand, the right hand, is going to slowly slide down that left forearm, down the elbow, across the chest, and ultimately let it open all the way out to the floor on that right side. Let the gaze be over the right hand. And feel these back muscles receiving this huge stretch for a moment. If there's any chance that we can go back to that quality of release, try to breathe the quality of release into your system. Even if the knees need to lift up a little bit to allow shoulder to be more grounded, that's fine. Breathe, release. Good. So we're going to kind of return back to that fetal position, but the way that we're going is that right hand will instead circle above the head like a little rainbow. So start to circle it toward that back wall. As it starts to work its way above the head, there will be a point where the shoulder has to lift. So at that point, roll the head over to the side. Take this, circle the hand all the way to this direction. Once we're back in the fetal position, use the right hand to grab the right foot behind your back. You're in a quad stretch. Get that knee to point all the way down toward the base of the mat. If some of us are deep enough in our quad stretch where we want to return some of our weight onto our back with the toes tucked like this, that's perfectly safe. Whatever feels comfortable, imagine putting some tension out of the quads. Oftentimes we stretch so many other parts of the leg, the hips, hamstrings, all these other spots. So this is a moment to work on quad. Good. Give it another huge inhale. Exhale. And as we release, unwind everything, return onto your back. Tight little ball. Roll the forehead in. Take 3 more rounds. Arm stretch away from legs. And come right back to center. Exhale. 2. Feel how in that right half we've got so much more mobility. And 1. Beautiful. So as head settles down, tilt everything to the fetal position, facing to the right side this time. The hands are up in front of your chest, hands stacked like a sandwich. And start to let the top hand slide open. So left hand slides across the forearm, elbow, upper arm, chest. And as it starts to open up to that left side, let the gaze go to that side. Maybe the knees need to lift a little bit, that top knee. But feel the chest spreading open really nice. Some of the tight spots on our back, trying to release some of that tension. For a couple of breaths, try to slow down the breath cycle. Now left arm's gonna return through the rainbow above our head. So start to feel yourself moving through that shoulder joint as the hand lifts up above head. Eventually there's a point where you have to flip up over the head, so then roll the head, come back down and circle it all the way until that left hand is grabbing left foot behind your back. Set it up in the quad stretch, getting that left knee to point toward the base of the mat. If you want to return all of the way or part of the way to laying on your back, that's your personal preference. Getting into the quad stretch either way. Make sure head and neck are comfortable. We're not adding any sort of discomfort there. Two more breaths, trying to add your counts to your breath cycle, maybe making it 6 or 7 count cycles. Beautiful. After this next exhale, take as much time as you need to unwind everything. Return yourself to your back, hands on the knees. Do a little bit of easy rocking for the low back. Ultimately, the legs will point up to the sky. Let the legs open out wide, hands resting on inner thighs. Give it a couple of breaths right here. Good. Bending the knees. See if you can grab onto the feet, happy baby. Let the legs open out nice and wide. You can rock, you can stay still, personal preference. Releasing hands from the feet, the knees come back together. Drop the feet to the ground for bridge pose. Lift up and stay lifted. So if hands can do the clasp behind your back, feel free to clasp. Walking shoulders closer if you can. Keep the knees slightly spacing together. Try to fill the chest and the pecs open. Very, really nice. Inhale. Exhale. Release hands, roll the hips down. Good. Let's make our way up to a seated place. Putting right into cobbler when you get there. As the head releases over, feel free to rock the head left and right. Giving that first chance to ease into some neck tension. Rolling the spine up, let the right leg start to straighten out to the space in front of you. And with that quality of release, just gradually let your spine relax up and over. A sense of forcefulness right now It's gradually easing and releasing those really tight muscles. Feel as if there's no end to the release. Like the deeper we can relax inside of our body, the deeper this pose, the expression of this pose becomes. Rise up enough that this right leg can slide a bit wider, and then continue to release forward. Start to walk the hands a bit closer to the straight leg. You'll feel that stretch the low back muscles just a little bit more. Then walk the hands in to support the spine, lifting up tall. Let this right leg come into a cross-leg position. Right hand will plant to the floor on that right side. Left hand reaches up and over. Breathing into the shoulder for a moment. So it might feel nice to just stay still. It might feel nice to add some movement, letting the thumb peel back. And then kind of rounding the shoulder forward. So if that movement across the shoulder feels helpful, that's great. If there's a spot where you know to pause, great. Take about 2 more breaths, try to keep that breath super slow. Good. When you feel ready to ease your way up, we'll let this right leg stay tucked in, left leg will slide straight out in front. Quality of ease as we make our way forward, so don't feel rushed. We're just helping those muscles of the back and the leg to gradually tighten. Slow breaths. Lift up enough that this leg can slide super wide. From there, release that forward first. I often think about how I believe tension in the body is related to deeper levels of energy, how we hold our emotions, how we work through our anxieties, our fears. So as you find those spots where definitely discover tension, try to let your breath help you ease some of that up. Breath teaches that area that it's safe. Go ahead and walk hands a little bit closer to left leg. Breath creates the signals to the body. If it's fast, like we're being chased by a cheetah or something. It sends signals to our body that I'm in survival mode. I need to, do something, change something. When we slow down, it reminds our body, okay, I'm safe. I can start to ease through the tightness. That's when we rise back up. Let that left leg come in, cross leg, nice and easy. Left hand comes to the left, right arm up and over. Try not to lift either hip off the ground. So I can drop elbow to ground. Not everybody can, that's okay. Use that arm as support. And then remember, we're working through the shoulders. So maybe you round forward for a little bit. And pull the thumb back. Or maybe you discover a spot where it's extra tight and you want to just pause to breathe for an extra moment. Take another one of those huge slow breaths in. Out. As we ease back up, bring the bottoms of feet together again. This time it's a bit further forward. Release the spine up and forward at first. And then to get into those low back muscles, what we'll do is place the right hand on the right knee. The left hand slides free off to the left. Start to straighten the right arm. This will shift the nose over that left knee. You'll feel how this gets into some of those low back muscles. So breathe, release to that area. So you think of it, inhale is like taking in, exhale is the release part. So maybe use the exhale to help you go through that mantra, release, every time you exhale. Good, let's ease our way back forward. Switch the grips out. So left hand on left knee, right hand free. Start to straighten your left arm until nose is working its way over right knee. And inhale. Exhale our mantra, release. Tension that's in my body. Release. Another huge breath cycle flowing in, out, ease back to the front, press into the ground to help our spine lift. One more moment here, just come into simple cross leg. Let your chin lift up to the sky. We're not cranking the bones on the back, we're just letting the throat area stretch out, that thyroid stuff. Maybe even jut the jaw forward. Good, relax the jaw, head rises. Start to drop the chin down to the chest. If just head dropping down is enough, stretch, great. If you'd like to add hands, the weight of the hands resting on the back of the head can invite it down just a little bit more. Another huge inhale, exhale, and then next just ease its way back up nice and slow. Once it's lifted, let's work our way to kneeling. Let's take a few cat cows. Spine gets a chance to round up. And spine gets a chance to drop down. Beautiful. Slide back to neutral, we'll take puppy pose. So leave the hips exactly as they are, but the hands continue to walk a bit further forward. It's working toward a back bend. So the heart is dropping down. Most of us have forehead down. For some people, it is comfortable to do that throat stretch as the chin drops down. It's up to you if that feels comfortable enough. Imagine that space in between your shoulder blades is relaxed. That relaxes, the heart has more freedom to continue to drop down. Nice inhale. Exhale. Imagine somebody's grabbing onto your hips, pulling your hips to your heels. So just let your body slide its weight backwards. And enjoy this counter stretch. Child's pose is the opposite because our spine gets to round up now instead of belly dropping down. When you're ready for downward facing dog, plant your hands, tuck your toes, lift your hips up. Let yourself add some easy movement through the legs. Now we're going to focus on the right leg for a moment. This might be knee circles, kind of letting the bent knee do some circles on that right side. It might be kind of just lifting the knee up and down, just adding a little bit of mobility to the hip. So it might look very different for each of us, but give it maybe one more good breath of mobility. Then we'll step that right foot to the outside of right hand. So we settle that down. We're settling into lizard pose. Back knee is welcome to drop. Stay on wrists. Some of us can drop one elbow down, the left one, block or floor. Some of us can lower both. Not a competition though, so it's whatever your body can do as you're trying to release the hips forward. Good. Coming back up onto our hands. The front knee stays bent just like it is. All that we're going to do is shift the back leg. So first, tap the back toes so you can lift up the back knee. The back heel drops down. And then continue to walk your hands to this left long edge of the mat. So this is a little bit of a toe squat stretch. So if that's a little bit too much, come higher. Make it more of like this half lunge to the side. If you're comfortable being nice and low with your knee, that's great too. So your preference. So from here, walk the hands back forward. We're on the back toes. Once you've got your balance with your legs, float the arms up to the sky. Take a little spinal rotation. So left hand rotates forward, right arm rotates back. Spiral toward front door. Good. Back heel drops down. And then just kind of windmill your arms open to warrior two. Good. Front elbow rests on front thigh. The top arm starts to stretch up and over. Get all the way to the shoulder and the rib stretch. Bring that arm to the mirror. Back up warrior 2. Start to reverse, back leg, feel that opposite shoulder stretch. Good, coming up. Shorten the stance to warrior 1, hips are facing forward. Clasp the hands behind the back. Let's pull the arms into the shoulder stretch behind us as we bow forward toward front. With any release in your shoulders for one more good inhale. Exhale. Hands drop to the floor. And then with our whole weight all at once, we'll bump the hands forward, float the back leg, supported warrior 3. One more inhale. Exhale, hold. Set the feet land close to one another. See if your spine can continue to relax into that forward fold up and over. Knees can always be a little bent if needed. Let's take a flow from here. So inhale, slide the hands up to shins, half length. Exhale, slide back down, forward fold. Plant the hands, travel back to plank or kneeling plank. Lower down, belly to earth. Inhale, back bend. Just choose to go as deep as will fit for your spine right now. Good. If you ever need a child pose in between, that's fine. If you're ready for down dog, go ahead and lift up into it. Good. So sooner or later, let's start working some of that mobility into left hip. So maybe it's knee circles, just wiggling all around. Maybe it's more just kind of lifting and lowering that knee. Whatever you can do to add a little bit of mobility to the hip. Good. And then step left foot to outside of left hand. You can drop the back feet down, lizard. Hips are trying to sink forward. Feel that release. Wrists are fine. If wrists are taking too much pressure, you can make fists. If you're lowering down, try the right elbow first. Maybe there's space for the left elbow, maybe not. Slow down the breath a little bit. Take one more slow cycle here. Up to hands. The back toes tuck. The back knee lifts. The back heel rotates down. And as hands continue to walk to the right side, maybe we stay up high like this, or maybe we drop low toward that heel. Whatever is going to work to stretch that inner thigh. Good. Let's turn ourselves to face back forward. Get the back toes to be tucked. Feel lifted for a moment. We're going to rise up to stand. So again, if sometimes balance is the issue, feet wider apart will make it easier. But either way, let's start to float the arms up. Take the little twist. So right hand is going to twist to the front, left hand twist to the back. Work. Spin open to warrior 2. Beautiful. Extended side angle, front elbow down, the other arm stretches up and forward. And warrior 2. The Start to reverse, back hand to back leg, top hand up to stretch back. Good, warrior two. So from here, we shorten our stance back to warrior one, face forward. Hand clasp behind the back. Shoulder stretch, as we bow forward, try to pull the arms open behind. Inhale. Exhale, hands can drop down. And we bump our hands forward, floating the back leg, supported warrior three. Drop the foot down, forward roll. Circle the arms up to sky, rising up. Little back bend, hands to heart. We'll take a moment for some shoulder stretching. So trying to take it toward eagle's arms. The right elbow goes under the left elbow. If the palms can wrap, try to go for the wrap. And then to get into the stretch, we have to just play around with our body. So I personally start with shoulders pressed down and then elbows lift up. That gets you to a really deep shoulder stretch. Some people, the tight spot is in between shoulder blades, so that would be elbows forward, shoulders back. That's a way to get into that spot. You can also play with kind of rotating around left and right. Maybe the neck is adding some movement too. So just take another 2 or 3 breaths, finding your tight spots. Help to ease into all of it. Last breath, try to imagine inhale, slow, exhale, release. Good. Allow the arms to drop heavy at each side. Just feel that sensation of the tension releasing right out. Good. One more half, left elbow under. If you're ever at the point where the complete bind is not really working, you can always just walk your hands to shoulder blade set. That's always an option. Let's start to play with what this side needs. Maybe twisting. The elbows up or down. A couple of easy breaths. More inhale. Exhale, release. Let the arms drop down. Good. So feel yourself circle through the shoulder joints as you rotate the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, forward. Fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. So let's move through these various body parts so it's a little bit more easy than before. Exhale, hands down, feet travel back. Maybe to knees, maybe not. Lower chaturanga. Take the back bend. And child pose or down dog. Good work. So here, go ahead and drop down to knees if you're in the down dog shape. And we're going to walk the knees a little bit wider. As we go into child's pose, we're going to take a little shoulder stretch. So arms first, start by walking forward, but then right shoulder threads under that left armpit space. From there, take the left arm, wind it around your low back. It's either resting on the low back or trying to kind of walk the hand into the hip crease. This top shoulder lifts up, the bottom shoulder grounds down. you're here and you prefer the arm stretch forward instead, go ahead and come back to that shape. Good. Take another inhale. Exhale. And let's start to ease the right shoulder back forward. Take a full breath cycle here in the middle. Left shoulder will thread its way under and through. So start off with the top arm, taking it to the low back, maybe wind around the hip. If you prefer just walking the hand forward instead, you can always return. But try to feel that sensation of top shoulder lifting up, bottom shoulder grounding down. So both shoulders are in a bit of a stretch just by being here. Another huge inhale. Exhale, unwind, normal child pose. Just enjoy another bonus breath right here, flowing in and out. Good. Easy walk back in. We're up to kneeling. Half stretch for the right foot, tuck the right toes at the back. Press back until you feel the calf stretching. So I have to go so far I lift the other knee up. Some people can easily get into it, just the knees on the ground. Start to switch it out, left leg. Have the toes tucked and press until you feel the calf stretch on that side. Nice inhale. With the exhale, think release. Good. Pointing both sets of toes, try to sit on the toes that way. Taking a little shin stretch. So left hand just kind of crosses off to the left. The further you go to the left, the easier it'll be, by the way. So if it's way intense, just go further and further to the left. Right hand picks up the right knee, lifts it up until you've got kind of the front of the ankle, maybe parts of the shin stretch. Leaning back a little bit, you can get nicely into it as well. Choose exactly the right spot. One more inhale. Exhale, start to softly drop this one down. Switch it out, so right hand crosses up, left hand picks up left knee. You can play with how far over you're leaning and play with how far back you lean, how high up you pick it up. Take another good inhale. Exhale, softly drop down, rock forward back to kneeling, let the toes circle. Good. And then come back down to a seated place. We're going to have the left foot planted in front of us, and we're cradling out the right leg. So you can use hands, forearms, elbows, whatever that hip will let us do, and give it a couple of good cradle rocks. Good. So from here, start to settle that right ankle to left side. So you've got lots of options of what to do here. You could lean back and then press the right knee, the right hand into the right knee, helping that hip rotate open. You could scoot the bottom foot closer to steepen the angle. If you've got it close and you want to try to hug around it, that's the final option. This one kind of takes some weird balance though, so not everybody can easily get to this one. Good. So we're sending those, as we're breathing slowly, imagine the exhale is reminding us to say that little mantra, release. One more huge inhale. Exhale, release. So from here, the left leg slides back out straight. The right leg could be crossed over as the foot's planted, or you could be on the inside, whatever's gonna work better for your body. Either way, we're taking a spinal twist, so left elbow hooks, the other arm is behind, we're just twisting to front. Beautiful, and we're gonna go forward. So if your knee is comfortable with this, you'll allow this right foot to continue to tuck by the hip as you lean forward. If that's way intense, just drop it off to the side instead, lean forward. So total personal preference. The difference that this does is it helps the legs stay a little bit straighter. You've got the weight on it. So if that's too intense, don't even stress about it. You can absolutely have the soft. Another beautiful inhale. Exhale. One more side. Plant the right foot. Cradle the left. Give it a couple of good rocks. That feels pretty good. Left ankle drops to that right thigh, and you choose exactly what we're doing. Perhaps just pressing the hand into the knee. Sliding the other foot closer, that steepens the angle. Maybe the balance hug. It's really whatever will work for this hip. And again, exhales remind us to try to sense that energy of release in this area. Another huge inhale. Exhale. This right leg starts to slide long. Maybe the left leg's crossed over. Maybe it needs to come to the inside, your choice. The hook right hand or right elbow to take the spinal twist. Inhale. Exhale, return forward. We've got the option, either slip the leg open or tuck that left foot closer to the hip. The last chance to just find that nice release up and over. One more breath, flowing in, out. As we ease our way out, this starts our journey to Shavasana. If you're already ready to just drop down, that's great. If you have last stretches your body needs, take them. Personal preference. Get all the way to the point where your body is comfortable enough to just relax for the next several minutes. Some of us are already there, some of us have a little bit longer. When you get to your Shavasana, take at least a couple of breaths, using the inhale to imagine inviting in freshness, and exhale to help us release whatever it is we're releasing today. Let it easily go. Here, let's begin to deepen our inhales, our exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. Enjoy just a few bonus breaths right here. Again, returning to that exhale, release. We're ready to rise up to a comfortable seated place. We can take our hands to our hearts. So before we finish with the sound of Om, let's take a moment to connect with Om and how that relates to our intention of release today. Om is spelled A-U-M. The A represents the creation. The U represents the life, kind of the space in between. And the M represents destruction. I've noticed in life oftentimes, or maybe just in our society, we love the life section, and we love the creation, the birth section, but we don't like the death and the destruction section. We always feel such sadness at that. But think of your very breath. To be able to breathe in means that we also have to breathe out. We have to have that balance, that release for the cycle to begin again, for life to happen, for the next inhale to happen. And so today we pondered just a little bit heading on about this idea of release. Maybe there's something in our life to release. Maybe there's some emotion to release. Maybe there's some object to release. There's so much we can work on potentially. But just letting that idea of release lead us on. Let's wrap up the time we shared together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.